Smoke signals from around the campfire.
To start this off, I'd like you to think about what it was like to be a teenager yourself. I don't know if you can remember that far back. The insecurities, maybe, or the questions that you had. If you were anything like me, you probably had a very strong sense of right and wrong. Did we all know how the world should have worked? Yeah? Okay, so I certainly had a strong sense of right and wrong, and my son, who's 14, and his friends, and all the young people I work with, they seem to have this very strong sense of justice and a real desire for the truth. And when I talk to them about how the world works, their response to me is usually, well, that's just crazy. And what I've come to realize is that our young people rebel, and they're rebelling because things really they don't make sense. It doesn't make sense to live in a world where we measure GDP, which means that if your house burns down, if you have an accident, GDP goes up and we consider that successful. Or if you chop down a forest, that's considered to be more successful in terms of GDP than if you preserve the forest. So all of these things are kind of going around our young people's minds, and when they come to us with questions, what I want us to be able to tell them the truth. So Crazy Beautiful World is going to be an online platform where we tell them the truth about what's crazy about the world. That's what they need to know. But we don't just leave it there. We also tell them what's so beautiful, because they need to know about all the adults in the world who are doing wonderful things, like the lawyers who are fighting for social justice for black kids in America. My friend who runs a project which is connecting young people in Palestine to people over here called the Hands Up Project. He does a video storytelling thing with them. They need to know about the Flying Seagull Project, who goes into refugee camps and who, with their clowning and with their magicians and the musicians. There are all sorts of wonderful projects happening in the world. And what I want is for our young people to know that we have their backs. So the Crazy Beautiful website is a place where they're going to go and they're going to find out about the crazy, and we're going to tell them the truth about that, and they're going to find out about the beautiful. And if they want to know more, they're going to also go to the section called Deep, because in the Deep section, there's going to be all sorts of experts on hand to explain how the economic system works, how the system of law and politics works. So the purpose of all this whole project, which I've set up with my son, or the seed of which I'm now throwing into hopefully fertile ground, is really an opportunity to find ways to get in the way of where our children are, which is on the internet. And we need to be there, and we need to provide them with what they need to become free human beings.